Welcome to Biscotti Making 101. Today we're going to make chocolate chip biscottis, and before you is an array of everything that you'll need to make biscotti. Starting with, on the far left, you have an insulated baking sheet. You have measuring cups, measuring spoons, you have margarine, you have baking powder, you have flour, salt, vanilla, milk, sugar in the back. You have a KitchenAid mixer with the beater, the heavy-duty beater, and a series of knives, and a cutting board, chocolate chips, eggs, and I think that's it. So let's get started. First thing you want to do is to set your oven for 340. Get that rolling. Let it heat up. Okay, I like to put the dry stuff and wet stuff together separately. So I start out with, in this recipe, with about 2 1/4 cups of flour. Then I add about 7/8 of a cup of sugar. Then I add 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. I'm using 1 tablespoon of baking powder, and that's it for the dry measure. For the wet measure, I take 1/2 of a stick of margarine and I nuke it for about 3/4 of a minute. Okay, next to the wet mixture, we're going to add, because this is hot from you just having to make it into a liquid, we're going to add the nice cold milk, kind of cool it down a bit before we add the eggs. 2 eggs into 1/2 a stick of margarine and 1/2 a cup of milk. Sure you get all the egg out. And then we're going to add 1 tablespoon of vanilla. Okay, now we're at the KitchenAid mixer, and we're going to turn it on and blend up the powder that's in there. We're going to begin to add our liquid measure. Be sure you get it all in. See it kind of squished down? You don't want it to do that. So we need to add plenty of flour to this. Okay, I've added enough flour to this so you can see that it's sticking as a clump onto the beater itself. And as I pull it down off of there, you can see that very little of it sticks to this rubber spatula. And that's about the consistency that you want to get it to. Okay, I've gotten this mixture to where it's now a really thick batter, and it clings to the center and just barely droops off of it. It's a nice thick batter, and so now we're going to add chocolate chips to this. But at this point in time, you could put in anything that you wanted, since you got a basic vanilla flavor going. Whatever can go with vanilla can go in. But we're putting in a cup of chocolate chips, and we're going to mix that up. We're going to knock some of the batter down, let it mix up. sure that all those chocolate chips get mixed around in there. Okay. Okay, so we're going to take some flour. We're going to sprinkle it on the counter. We're going to take the dough and peel it off. And get the rest of the dough out of the middle of the bowl. Okay, now we're going to shape this into a bit of a square. Now if you were going to make this into a batch all by itself, you could take your spatula and just make an indentation down the center like this and shape it into a loaf like so. You make 2 of those loaves and you're going to put them on your cookie sheet. But I'm going to go on from here to make a specialty here, which is a double chocolate layered biscotti. So we're going to come back to this.